Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Week 6 Monday Night Football. Got the Bears and Commanders in this one. Got a separate episode up with the other games, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Continue to follow along with us all season. Going to be looking at the matchup data and insights that you need to get your plays down here on Monday night in this game. Also going to have Nate coming on with a couple of player prop looks for you. As always, using those SwishLand Projections, the model that we've got there on the site, landyourbets.com, for all those who are interested. So if that all sounds good, give this video a like. Let's get right into things. Starting with the visiting Bears on offense, hasn't been great in the first 4 games for Ben Johnson. Passing yards, bottom 4 there. Pass EPA, I mean, Johnson's dialing it up. He just doesn't have the same weapons, obviously, that he had in Detroit. And Caleb Williams has been underperforming a ton. We're going to talk about that in a second. Has not helped the rush game either, right? 30th in yards and rush EPA on offense. DeAndre Swift getting touched a lot in the backfield there. And this Washington defense is getting behind the line. And in that rush defense has completely turned around from one of the worst in the league, now 12th in rush EPA. We're looking really good with that front 7 especially. So I think the Bears are going to have a tough time rushing it. They're going to have to take to the air once again. On the other side of the ball, I do see this as a Washington running offense going crazy, right? We know if you look at their offense, they're first in rushing yards, second in rush EPA, first in success rate. They're very good. And they can pass when they need to, but they're going to have a bunch of wide receivers injured in this game. Terry McLaurin already out. Debo Samuel and Noah Brown both questionable right now, game time decisions. So I don't know if the pass game is going to be there, but I also don't know if they need to worry about that as much. The Chicago defense always going to be stronger right now in the pass game. 4th in the amount of yards they're limiting, 13th in pass EPA. But then in the rush there, 23rd in rush yards allowed and 18th in rush EPA. And there's some more things here that tell us that Washington's just going to dominate this clock, right? Yards per play, if you look at that, Chicago's dead last. Washington 7th with 6 yards per play that they're averaging. Early downs, huge for them as well. A lot of rushes on those early downs. 3rd in yards on 1st and 2nd down. Dead last for that Chicago defense, limiting early down yardage. And then the rushing success overall, 1st in rushing success percentage, right? As we said here a minute ago, and then for Chicago, dead last in terms of rushing success percentage. So opposing backs consistently getting those yards against them. Really not much in terms of getting into the backfield, not much pressure from that front for Chicago's defense, which is why we do like Bill Krosky-Merritt, Corey Krosky-Merritt, also known as Bill, to go crazy here in this game. I think there's a couple things that add up to just this being a big Krosky-Merritt game. The script is clear. Run the ball. Both he and Jaden Daniels, I think, are going to get a good amount of touches on the ground. We're going to talk about Jaden in just a minute. And I think we've established that he is now the clear-cut RB1 moving forward. And even if he wasn't, and Chris Rodriguez was going to come in and take some of that snap share from him, which I don't believe he is, Rodriguez is hurt, right? And he wouldn't have played if it was Sunday when they played. He might make it to the Monday night game, but it doesn't sound like it sounds like he's going to be limited, won't get a full workload. Just means more carries for Krosky-Merritt. And this is on the heels of the SwishLand intel telling us that the coaching staff in Washington has said they expect him to see about 20 plus touches moving forward, which obviously includes some stuff through the air if you like that. But for the most part, I see them just ground and pound against one of the worst rush defenses in the league. And if that's going to be the case and he's going to get 15 plus touches, this is a dude who's averaged more than 7 yards per carry twice already this season, including his last week when he was the clear-cut RB1, right? At the most snaps, most opportunity share and everything. So love him in this game to get another big yardage. It's a pretty high prop at about 70 yards, and I'm okay going over on that. All right, week 6 is the last week to sign up for Novig and get a free month in the VIP on landyourbets.com. If you want to get all the bets, all the projections we're making, you can do that by signing up for Novig. If you don't yet have an account with the exchange, really great way to bet. Not a traditional sports book. You can bet against other bettors rather than the sports book, which is a really nice way to sort of set your lines or choose the lines that you want to bet. Do that. Just sign up using code LYB and then email me, support@landyourbets.com. We'll go ahead and get you that free month in the VIP to get all the bets and all the projections. Told you I was going to talk about Jaden Daniels rushing, and the model here really likes it, right? 9 attempts and 48 yards, both higher than what his lines are currently set at for rush attempts and rush yards. And here's the key. Chicago's defense runs a ton of man, the second most in the league at about 41% of the time, and Daniels has the highest scramble rate against man since he joined the league. So this does sort of bode well for his attempts. He had 8 against LAC last week, including on the final drive when they needed to really put the victory up against that team, or close it out, I should say, right? They end up winning by a couple scores, but he had 3 scrambles on that drive, no kneel downs. So, all 8 of those rush attempts were legit. They weren't kneel downs that just sort of got him a rush attempt and no yards. So still like the yards. You're going to find him at about 40 or so on the rushing yards here. I think that's a better play than the pass with all the wide receivers hurt, Plus, you've got the fact that this is a team that gives up a ton of rushing yards to everybody, quarterbacks, running backs, whomever. Daniels is also the free square of the week here on Underdog. So if you don't yet have an account with Underdog, this is another great way to get a free square. Bet with Jaden Daniels to get any amount of rushing yards or passing yards. Doesn't matter. As long as he gets one, you get that bet added to your parlay. Just sign up using code LYB as always, and you'll go ahead and get that free pick when you bet with Jaden Daniels. So what about DeAndre Swift? Well, his numbers are super low, and I'm cautioning you guys to stay away from it. I'm not betting on DeAndre Swift because the under is a little bit dicey with how low his number is. He's at like 48.5 rushing yards. I don't trust that against this Washington rush defense. And the key is that Washington's front is getting into the backfield. Chicago's offensive line is not stopping anybody from getting into the backfield. And despite the volume for DeAndre Swift as the clear RB1, almost more than 3/4 of the touches for running backs going his way, he's one of the worst running backs in the league in terms of yards after contact. And he's getting hit a lot before he really even has a chance to make a move. Plus, this is not a running back with a ton of vision, just saying that. So if you look at the Washington front, like I said, turned it around a ton, 4th in running back yards per carry allowed, 3.4. And they get into that. They're number 1, actually, in terms of yards before contact. So they get into that backfield really quickly and touch the running back before he's really able to get ahead of steam. I know Nate's going to talk about Caleb Williams. I kind of just wanted to show what the model thinks about him. Nate has a bet that's not 100% relevant to just his full game passing yards, so we'll talk about that with him in a minute. But he's been bad, man, and this is a big reason why they're pretty good in terms of pass EPA. The expectation on each pass play is that they're going to have more success than they've had, and then Caleb goes and has the highest inaccuracy in the league, right? 17% of his passes are misses that he's missing in situations that he should hit them. If you look at completion percentage over expectation in those situations where the expected outcome is that he completes the ball, he's doing that less than 10. He's minus 10%, right? So he should be at about 10% better completion percentage than he is, and he's struggling. And when he's pressured, he's really struggling. And that's been his problem since college and came in the league, is that 4.3 yards per attempt when he's pressured. Good for 4th worst in the league there. And Washington's going to generate pressure. 40% is 8th in the league for their defense. And that's what they did last year when they played the Bears. They just pressured the crap out of Caleb. And I believe he had 131 passing yards on about a 40% completion percentage. I would expect the same kind of game script for that Washington defense to give Caleb a ton of trouble for the entire game. All right, Nate's here taking a look at a couple of props that he likes in this game as well. Starting with a look at the total here. Nate, tell us why you like offense in this one.
Yeah, I just don't like the defenses really on both sides. But mainly, I like Ben Johnson coming out of the bye week. I think he'll have some good stuff cooked up against this Washington defense that is just giving up a ton of explosive plays deep. Like, they're built to stop the run. Really like their linebacker duo, that the defensive tackles for Washington. They've been excellent against the run. Bears can't really run the ball anyway. Thinking DeAndre Swift is a bell cow. So I think there's going to be some explosive plays over the top. And then that Chicago defense, apparently Ben Johnson just is not involved in coaching the defense. They are somehow worse than they were under Eberflus, allowing the most points and yards per play. They've gone over in 3 of 4 this season. The lowest total for a Bears game was 45, and that was when the Cowboys basically just like called it quits when CD got injured on like the first play, and then they had some bad turnover luck, and they were just like, you know what, this isn't for us. But I mean, that game easily could have gone over as well. I wonder if the Washington pass rush and defense really impressed last week, or did the Chargers lose literally their entire offensive line, and then all of a sudden that pass rush is getting home? Otherwise, they've been blitzing a lot and just giving up the shot plays. Like, 5th most air yards, 5th highest average depth of target, 5th most missed tackles. And neither of these defenses have been any good deep. And the Bears play man at a really high rate, despite the fact that they've lost multiple corners. And that's just a terrible idea against Jaden Daniels. That is just not how you stop him. So even if Deebo Samuel doesn't go, I think Washington will be able to move the ball just fine against this defense.
Yep. Yeah, I talked about Jaden Daniels against man as well. Highest scramble rate since 24, since he came in the league against man coverage there. And 40% man coverage is unheard of these days. And the Bears are definitely running a ton of that. So maybe we'll see it and switch it up a little bit, but even some wider cover 3 stuff rather still kind of favors Washington's offense. So let's talk about Caleb here, and specifically in the first half, which I really, really like the reasoning. I kind of, it's at the bottom there, but that might be my favorite point, is that like you trust him more with Ben Johnson writing the script for him.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at all the stats, and the splits are very notable. Just here's first quarter, Caleb this season, 73% completion, 8.3 yards per attempt, 115 rating. He's down to, by the third quarter, 47% completion, 4.7 yards per attempt. So that just tells you, like, when Ben Johnson has the time to prepare, he's putting in these plays that Caleb is nailing. And then as soon as the other team has the opportunity to adjust, all of a sudden Caleb can't seem to adjust on the fly. So basically, yeah, he's averaging 60 more yards per game. 146.3 in the first half. We get a number here of 113.5 compared to 236 for the game. I would much rather just take the first half using that reasoning and not necessarily worry about, what might happen down the stretch as Washington starts to figure him out a little bit more. He's also missed a lot of deep shots. Like the stats could be higher for Caleb, who has 9th in air yards per attempt. And it has gotten the ball out quick too, despite getting the ball deep. So that all just like points to Ben Johnson scheming up like easy looks for him. He's just missed a few, and other than, when he lit up the Dallas defense. But I think this Washington secondary has struggled, and I think the Bears will be able to pass it on them.
That's fair. I mean, the only thing that I guess in favor of the bet going over in the first half as opposed to needing to take the game, the pressure is definitely going to be there. If you believe in the negative game script in the second half for the Bears, when they'll have to be throwing, you say, okay, well, they'll have to be throwing in the second half. Isn't that when you expect him to get some more yards? Not really. I think the pressure is going to be there more in the second half, and this is one of the worst quarterbacks under pressure in the league. That was the knock against him coming into the league. He has not shown. He's at 4.3 yards per completion when he's under pressure right now. Not very good. Obviously having to get the ball out quickly, but still a really poor number there. And his completion percentage over expectations, really bad, about minus 10% in those situations as well. So he's definitely going to need to be able to handle pressure a bit more, but you probably expect that to come in the second half if the defense is able to pin their ears back a bit. And bottom line, the attempts are going to have to be there because you don't expect them to be able to run the way that Washington has shored up, gone from one of the worst rush defenses in the league to one of the best. So appreciate the time, Nate. We're definitely in cahoots here. Definitely want to make sure you check out the other Monday night video. Bills and Falcons, got a bet from Nate in there as well. All right, thanks to Nate, as always, for jumping on. He is in the other episode as well, Falcons and Bills, the other Monday night episode. So make sure you check that out and subscribe to the channel. And until I see y'all next, happy betting.